Is Liam Thornton, and my life had become a cliché. The kind of plot I would have scoffed at during a lazy Sunday movie marathon. A ridiculous rom-com premise too absurd to be believable. Yet there I was, standing in the sterile minimalist office of my late uncle's lawyer, my world having just been upended by a dead man's whim. Uncle Howard had never been a conventional figure. A billionaire who made his fortune in eccentric tech ventures and even more eccentric art collections. He was the black sheep of the otherwise staid Thornton family, where my father built a predictable, respectable empire in commercial real estate. Howard chased horizons. He was my favorite relative, a whirlwind of laughter, wild stories, and inexplicable generosity. His death in a sailing accident off the coast of Sardinia had felt like the end of color in my world. Now Mr. Grayson, a man whose demeanor was as gray and sharp as his name, sat across from me. He had been more than Howard's lawyer. He was his oldest friend, the Sancho Panza to his Don Quixote. "The reading of the will is a formality, Liam," Mr. Grayson said, his voice a low, steady rumble. Howard was very specific. His entire estate, holdings, assets, the estate in Bedford, the villa in Tuscany, everything passes to you. The air left my lungs. I knew I was in the will, but the entirety of his fortune? It was an astronomical sum. A number that could reshape continents, let alone a single life. My mind, trained for years in high-stakes venture capital, began automatically calculating the possibilities, the power, the sheer terrifying weight of it. "There is, however, a single non-negotiable condition," Mr. Grayson continued, his piercing blue eyes fixed on me, missing nothing. He let the silence hang, a practiced lawyer's trick. "You must be married by your 30th birthday." I blinked. "I'm sorry, married, Mr. Thornton. Legally, verifiably wed." It was Howard's most fervent wish. He believed his greatest fortune wasn't his wealth, but the 50 years he shared with Eleanor. He felt you were adrift, too focused on the transactional nature of life. He wanted to ensure you understood what truly mattered. A cold laugh escaped me. He wanted me to understand what matters by forcing me into a legal contract, by encouraging you to seek a partnership, Mr. Grayson corrected smoothly, a testament to his eccentric but deeply felt beliefs. "And if I'm not?" I asked, though I dreaded the answer. "Then the entire estate, every last penny, is liquidated and donated to the Howard and Eleanor Thornton Foundation for the preservation of obscure antique clockmaking." He didn't even crack a smile. It was such an absurd, perfectly Howard contingency that I almost believed this was an elaborate posthumous joke. The final crushing blow came next. "And your 30th birthday is in 1 week," Mr. Grayson concluded, sliding a copy of the will across the polished mahogany desk. 7 days. The drive back to my sleek, soulless high-rise apartment was a blur. 7 days. 168 hours to find a wife. My last serious relationship had ended 2 years prior. A slow, painful, fizzling out sacrificed on the altar of late nights and bigger deals. Since then, my love life had been a series of brief, pleasant, and entirely superficial encounters. I was Liam Thornton, successful, focused, and utterly, completely alone. Finding a genuine partner in a week wasn't just improbable. It was a cosmic joke. That evening, I met my friend Ben for a drink. Ben, an eternal optimist and a producer of off-Broadway plays, saw life as a series of solvable plot points. "This is amazing," he declared, clapping me on the back. "It's not a problem, it's a third-act twist. It's a disaster, Ben. I'm going to lose everything to a bunch of cuckoo clocks." "Then don't lose," he said, as if it were that simple. "Look, you just need a wife. For the paperwork. It's a performance, and I know just the actress." I stared at him, the immoral, desperate simplicity of the idea slithering into my mind. "Hire someone? It's a simple solution to a simple problem," Ben insisted. "You need a performer for a short-run show. One audience member, a lawyer. You pay her a fee, she gets a stellar line on her resume, and a life-changing payday. You get your inheritance. It's a business transaction. The kind you're so good at." The idea was repulsive. It was cynical. It was everything my uncle had supposedly been trying to save me from. But as the hours ticked down, the alternative, losing not just the wealth, but my last connection to Howard's wild, wonderful legacy, felt like a greater betrayal. Desperation is a powerful corrosive for one's principles. And so, 48 hours later, I found myself sitting in a dimly lit, impossibly expensive restaurant across from Sophia Reed. Sophia Reed sat across from Liam in a cozy restaurant, her warm hazel eyes. Sophia Reed sat across from Liam in a cozy restaurant, her warm hazel eyes observing him with thoughtful intensity, contrasting sharply with the flashy persona he had initially expected. Standing outside City Hall, Sophia and Liam posed for a photograph, their forced smiles hiding the tension of an arrangement that felt surreal and official. As Mr. Grayson faced them from his imposing chair, the atmosphere in the room thickened with tension, signaling the seriousness of the impending questions about their carefully constructed story. In a cozy cafe, laughter echoed as Liam and Sophia shared a moment over coffee, the warmth of their growing connection contrasting with the serious facade they maintained for their fabricated life. With scattered papers around them in Liam's apartment, they rehearsed their backstory, each moment revealing the nuances of their evolving partnership as they practiced together. As they stood at the entrance of the courtroom, anticipation mingled with anxiety on their faces, marking the beginning of a new chapter where their fabricated marriage would be put to the test. In Mr. Grayson's office, Liam and Sophia leaned forward with determination, mentally bracing themselves as the lawyer's scrutinizing gaze bore into them, setting the stage for a pivotal moment. At the crowded charity auction, laughter and competitiveness filled the air as Liam and Sophia playfully bid against each other, revealing the undeniable chemistry that had blossomed between them. As they strolled through the aisles of the Strand bookstore, laughter and shared stories filled the air, deepening the connection between Liam and Sophia in a moment that felt genuine amidst the pretense. In the park, seated on a bench amidst the lush greenery, Liam and Sophia shared laughter and playful banter, the atmosphere enriched by the burgeoning bond that was forming between them. As they stood at the entrance of City Hall, exchanging nervous glances, an air of tension surrounded Liam and Sophia, signifying the weight of the commitment they were about to make. When the city clerk announced them as husband and wife, mixed emotions washed over Liam and Sophia as the seriousness of their arranged marriage began to settle in. Emerging from City Hall, Liam and Sophia paused for a photograph, their forced smiles revealing the tension beneath the surface of their new reality as they stood in the glaring light of unexpected scrutiny. As they sat in Mr. Grayson's office, tension filled the air while the couple prepared to face his scrutinizing gaze, fully aware that their carefully crafted narrative was about to be tested. In the tense atmosphere of Mr. Grayson's office, Liam and Sophia leaned in, ready to articulate the carefully constructed details of their backstory, aware that their future hinged on this conversation. After their tense meeting with Mr. Grayson, Liam and Sophia stepped outside, their faces still reflecting the pressure of the encounter, yet finding solace in their shared bond as they faced the challenges ahead. Gathered around a dining table, Liam and Sophia enjoyed a meal together, their laughter and playful exchanges capturing the warmth that had blossomed in the midst of their complex arrangement. As they strolled hand in hand through the lively streets of New York, laughter and excitement filled the air, marking a departure from tension to genuine enjoyment in each other's company. Under the soft glow of fairy lights at a rooftop gathering, Liam and Sophia found themselves immersed in joyful conversations, their shared laughter echoing the deepening bond that had developed between them. In the comfort of their home, as they sat together on the couch, Liam and Sophia exchanged heartfelt stories from their past, deepening their connection and fostering a sense of intimacy between them. In a cozy cafe bathed in sunlight, laughter echoed between Liam and Sophia as they shared amusing stories over coffee, reflecting the joy and lightheartedness that now defined their relationship. As they walked through a blooming park surrounded by the colors of spring, Liam and Sophia embraced the moment, smiles brightening their faces as they cherished the beauty of their evolving connection. Nestled together on the couch, Liam and Sophia watched an old movie, their fingers intertwined under a warm blanket, embodying the comfort and intimacy that had flourished in their relationship. At a lively art gallery opening, Liam and Sophia moved through the exhibits side by side, their shared enthusiasm for art reflecting the strength of their growing partnership. Amidst the greenery of a sunny park, Liam and Sophia delighted in a picnic together, laughter ringing out as they shared bites of food, celebrating the playful and joyful aspects of their deepening bond. In a bustling cooking class, Liam and Sophia donned aprons and worked side by side, their laughter echoing as they navigated the kitchen together, embodying the joy of teamwork and connection. Sophia was flawless, her delivery natural and sprinkled with charming, specific details. The color of the dress she wore that night, the ridiculous amount she'd paid for the book, the joke I'd made about my failed bid. Then Mr. Grayson leaned back, steepling his fingers. Howard was a man who believed in shared experiences, he said. He felt you couldn't truly know a person until you'd created something together, or survived a disaster together. A faint, almost imperceptible smile touched his lips. He's left a small gathering at the Bedford estate this weekend. A few close friends and family. He insisted, as a condition of the transfer of certain personal effects, that you both attend, to celebrate your union in his home. My blood ran cold. A party? With people who had actually known Howard? This was a catastrophe. Mr. Grayson, with my work schedule, I started. It was his wish, Liam, Grayson interrupted, his voice leaving no room for argument. I'll send a car for you tomorrow afternoon. The ride to Bedford was silent. The sprawling old money estate was exactly as I remembered it. A beautiful, intimidating monument to Howard's eclectic taste. The small gathering was a collection of a dozen or so of Howard's oldest, sharpest friends. They were a jury of our peers, if our peers were all discerning, wealthy socialites in their 60s and 70s. The first test came almost immediately. Mrs. Henderson, a formidable woman who had been Eleanor's best friend, cornered us in the grand hall. "So you're the one who finally caught Liam," she said to Sophia, her eyes sharp as diamonds. Howard's favorite. He always said Liam was too married to his work to find a real wife. Sophia didn't miss a beat. She laughed, a light musical sound. "Oh, I don't know about caught," she said, slipping her arm through mine. "I think we found each other, and I quite like his work ethic. It's one of the things I first admired about him. It was a perfect deflection." Mrs. Henderson seemed momentarily disarmed. The tests kept coming. Mr. Grayson, playing the benign host, suggested Sophia and I prepare Howard's famous firehouse chili for the group, a legendary complex recipe that was a tradition at his parties. The kitchen became a war zone. I was hopeless, confusing cumin with cinnamon, nearly setting a tea towel on fire. But Sophia, with a surprising practicality, took charge. She directed me like a field general. "Chop the onions, Liam. Fine, not chunky." And together, through a comedy of errors and her quick thinking, we produced a passable, if not award-winning chili. The shared frantic effort felt strangely real. We were a team, covering for each other's weaknesses. Later in the sprawling garden, Mr. Grayson asked us to pick our spot, the place in the grounds that felt most like us. We wandered, our facade of coupledom feeling thin under the vast open sky. "This is insane," I muttered under my breath, a fake smile plastered on my face for the benefit of anyone watching from the house. "It's immersive theater," Sophia whispered back, her hand in mine feeling more natural with every passing minute. "Just follow my lead." We found a weathered stone bench beneath a massive, ancient oak tree. Sophia sat down, running her hand over the mossy stone. "Here," she said, her voice soft. "Why here?" I asked. She looked up at me, and for a moment the performance dropped away. "It feels solid, enduring, like it's seen 100 years of secrets and hasn't told a single one." She was no longer just Sophia the actress. She was Sophia, the woman who understood the weight of silence and the poetry of old things. I sat beside her. "It's perfect," I said, and for the first time, I wasn't lying for the benefit of the act. That evening, the final and most brutal test came. The guests had departed. The three of us, myself, Sophia, and Mr. Grayson, sat in Howard's grand library. A fire crackled in the massive hearth, casting long, dancing shadows. Mr. Grayson sat in Howard's favorite worn armchair, a crystal tumbler of amber whiskey in his hand. The air was thick with the scent of old books and wood smoke. He took a slow sip, his eyes fixed on the flames. "Howard and Eleanor's first kiss," he began, his voice low and ruminative, "was on a rickety ferry to Staten Island. It was raining. She'd dropped her purse and the contents had gone everywhere. They were both on their hands and knees, scrambling for her things, laughing like fools, soaked to the bone." He said he looked up, saw a drop of water on the end of her nose, and knew, with absolute certainty, that he would love her for the rest of his life. He kissed her right there, surrounded by scattered lipstick and loose change. In the quiet stillness of the library, a tense moment unfolds between two individuals, their emotions laid bare as one recalls a poignant memory that transcends mere words, revealing the raw truth of their shared experience. As the narrative deepens, the tension in the room is palpable, with Mr. Grayson's discerning gaze fixed firmly on the couple, capturing the intricate dance between truth and artifice that characterizes their relationship. As Sophia leans in to recount the intimate details of that defining moment, the warmth of the firelight envelops them, highlighting the deep connection forged between them in the midst of chaos and uncertainty. In the heart of the library, time seems to stand still as the couple navigates through an ocean of emotions, creating an unspoken bond that transcends the boundaries of their fabricated lives. As the weight of the truth settles in, Mr. Grayson's demeanor shifts, recognizing the genuine connection that has emerged from their storytelling, while the couple's unsteady gazes reveal the fragile hope that lies ahead. In a moment suspended in time, Mr. Grayson's approving gesture signals not only acceptance, but also a recognition of the emotional journey undertaken by the couple, reinforcing the transformative power of honesty within their complex narrative. As the air fills with a sense of camaraderie and acceptance, the couple's hands remain steadfastly intertwined, embodying the strength of their bond in contrast to the swirling uncertainties that lie ahead. In the flickering light of the library, a toast signals the transition from apprehension to acceptance, as both individuals brace themselves for the implications of their heartfelt revelations. With a newfound sense of respect, Mr. Grayson addresses the couple, his words carefully chosen, acknowledging the bravery it takes to expose one's truth, while Sophia's unwavering gaze reflects her commitment to this shared journey. In the stillness of the library, the couple's hearts race as they await Mr. Grayson's judgment, the warm glow of the surroundings serving as a comforting backdrop to the pivotal moment that could reshape their lives. As Mr. Grayson begins to speak, the tension in the room subtly shifts. His words, laced with admiration, breathe new life into the couple, igniting a flicker of hope amidst the uncertainty that once loomed heavy above them. In a moment of newfound openness, Mr. Grayson's body language shifts, inviting the couple to consider the possibilities that lay in front of them, while their united grasp symbolizes the strength they find in each other. With bated breath, Sophia's gaze remains fixed on Mr. Grayson, conveying her deep desire for affirmation as he prepares to share insights that could redefine their path, the weight of his authority hanging palpably in the air. As Mr. Grayson articulates his thoughts, the gravity of his advice resonates in the air, drawing the couple closer together in shared anticipation, their hopeful expressions reflecting a newfound determination to embrace the journey ahead. In the intimate warmth of the library, Mr. Grayson's encouraging words reverberate through the room, instilling a sense of hope in Sophia as she contemplates the emotional path forward, her resolve solidifying in the glow of his wisdom. As the couple shares a meaningful glance, the emotional tension dissipates, replaced by a newfound confidence, while Mr. Grayson's relaxed demeanor indicates his belief in their ability to embrace the future together. In the soft glow of the library, the couple stands united, ready to step forward into the next chapter of their lives, their intertwined hands a powerful testament to their shared resolve and commitment. As smiles break across their faces, the couple's joyful exchange signifies a turning point in their relationship, reflecting their readiness to craft their own story amidst the wisdom captured within the library's walls. With the library doors shining with promise, the couple stands on the threshold of a new beginning, ready to embrace the opportunities and challenges that lie beyond, fueled by their deepened connection. As they step out into the brilliance of the sunlight, the couple embodies the promise of adventure ahead, their entwined hands a powerful reminder of their shared strength and unwavering commitment to navigate the journey together. In the lively atmosphere of the street, the couple walks side by side, their eagerness for what lies ahead reflected in their smiles, ready to embrace each moment of their unfolding journey together. As they pause at the bustling street corner, a sense of adventure envelops them, Examining the map becomes a metaphor for their shared aspirations, symbolizing the limitless possibilities waiting to be discovered. Howard would have approved, he said, his voice warm, with a satisfaction that went beyond legalities. He always said that real love doesn't begin with grand gestures. It begins in the quiet moments, in the shared struggles, in knowing how someone takes their coffee. He set his glass down and stood, walking to his desk. He would have loved that story. He picked up a pen, opened a heavy leather-bound folder, and with a few swift, decisive strokes, he signed the documents that transferred Howard's entire fortune to me. It was over. We had won. The car ride back to the city was steeped in a heavy, unspoken tension. The performance was over. The curtain had fallen. We had the signed papers. The victory was ours. But the echo of Sophia's words hung in the air between us. A ghost we both could see but dared not acknowledge. I stared out the window at the passing blur of leafless trees and sprawling estates, but I didn't see them. I saw her face in the firelight. I heard the tremor in her voice. It was the most real thing I've ever felt. What had that been? A final, breathtaking piece of acting? A Hail Mary pass to save the deal? Or something else? The terrifying possibility that it was something else clawed at the edges of my carefully controlled world. We did it, I finally said, my voice sounding hoarse and foreign. We did, she replied, her tone neutral, professional. She was looking at her own reflection in the window. The Sophia from the library was gone, replaced by the poised actress I had hired. The distance between us, now that the shared mission was accomplished, felt like a chasm. I'll have the remainder of your payment transferred in the morning, I said, the words feeling crude and transactional. Thank you, she said softly. That will be life-changing. We fell back into silence. The business transaction was concluding as planned. So why did it feel like a profound loss? When the car pulled up in front of her modest Brooklyn apartment building, an awkwardness descended. What was the protocol for this? A handshake? A formal goodbye? We were legally husband and wife for a few more months until the quiet, prearranged divorce. Well, she said, reaching for the door handle. Good night, Liam. Sophia, wait. The words were out of my mouth before I could stop them. She paused, turning back to look at me, her expression unreadable. The story you told, I began, stumbling over the words, by the fireplace. A faint, sad smile touched her lips. It was what he needed to hear, she said, her voice barely a whisper. It's what we're good at, remember? Giving people the story they want. And with that, she slipped out of the car and disappeared into the building without a backward glance. I told myself that was the answer. It was just the job. She was an incredible actress. I'd gotten what I paid for, but the hollow, aching feeling in my chest refused to believe it. The following weeks were a whirlwind of lawyers, financial advisors, and corporate meetings. I was now one of the wealthiest men in the country. I had power, influence, everything I had ever worked for, amplified 1,000-fold by Howard's fortune. But the high-rise apartment felt emptier than ever. The silence was deafening. I found myself thinking of her constantly. Not of Sophia, the actress I hired, but of Sophia. Her laugh at a terrible pun. The way she'd taken charge in the chaotic kitchen. The intelligent light in her eyes when she discussed a character's motivation. The warmth of her hand in mine. I tried to dismiss it as a form of Stockholm Syndrome, a natural attachment formed under intense, shared pressure. But it was more than that. The fiction had become a door, and through it, I had seen a glimpse of a reality I hadn't known I wanted. One afternoon, going through the personal effects delivered from Howard's estate, I found a letter addressed to me in his familiar, sprawling handwriting. My dear boy, Liam, if you're reading this, it means Grayson has done his job and you've met my absurd condition. I hope you're not too angry with your old uncle. You see, I wasn't trying to force you into a marriage. I was trying to force you to look up from your spreadsheets. I saw you, Liam. I saw you building a perfect, lonely castle around yourself. Money is a tool, not a life. The greatest adventure, the most terrifying and wonderful investment you will ever make, is in another person. It's a leap of faith. I took that leap with Eleanor on a rainy ferry, and it was the best decision I ever made. I don't know who she is, or how you found her, but I trust that in the process of this ridiculous game, you saw a glimpse of something real. Don't let the game end with the final act. The best stories always have a sequel. With all my love, Howard. I put the letter down, my hand trembling. Howard hadn't been eccentric. He had been brilliant. He had engineered this entire situation not to get me a wife, but to force me to open my eyes. I thought of the first kiss story Sophia had told. It was our story, the story of us, and it was real. The stress, the exhaustion, the shared purpose, the connection that had grown in the soil of a deception. It was all real. The kiss itself may not have happened physically, but emotionally, in that library it had. And I had felt it too. The game had ended, but our story didn't have to. I stood outside her apartment building, my heart hammering against my ribs with a force that felt like it could crack bone. This was a different kind of panic than the one in Mr. Grayson's library. This was the terror of vulnerability, of stepping into an unknown without a script. I rang the bell. There was a long pause, then a crackle of static. "Hello? It's Liam," I said, my voice tight. Another pause, longer this time. Then the door buzzed open. I climbed the stairs to her third-floor walk-up. She was waiting at her open door, dressed in jeans and a simple sweater, her face free of makeup. She looked beautiful and real and confused. "Liam, is everything okay? The payment came through, thank you." "It's not about the money," I interrupted, stepping inside her small, cozy apartment. It was filled with books and plants, a stark contrast to my sterile penthouse. It felt like a home. "Then what is it?" she asked, crossing her arms, a defensive gesture I had come to recognize. "I can't stop thinking about that story," I said, the words tumbling out. "The one you told Grayson." "I told you it was just... Don't!" I pleaded, cutting her off. "Don't tell me it was just the job. Not anymore. Because for me, it wasn't." I ran a hand through my hair, frustrated, trying to find the right words. "You were right. It was messy and stressful, and we were both in over our heads. We were surrounded by the debris of a fake life. But you were wrong about one thing." Her eyes were wide, watching me, her breath held. "You said it wasn't like the movies," I continued, taking a step closer. "But for me, in that moment, listening to you, it was. It was the most real, most true thing I had ever heard. Because it was our story, Sophia. It was us, the real us. The stress, the laughter, the ibuprofen you slipped me, the terrible puns, that was all real. The connection we built, that was real." I took a deep breath, the final leap of faith. "You said you couldn't imagine your life without me in that moment. Well, I'm standing here now, in the aftermath of our perfectly executed plan. And I can't imagine my life without you in it. Not as an actress, as you." Tears welled in her eye. "Liam, we had a deal." "A business transaction." "The transaction is over," I said softly. "This isn't business. This is the messy, unscripted, terrifying part that comes after. Howard didn't leave me his fortune to make me rich. He left me this ridiculous situation to show me that this leap is what actually matters." I reached out slowly, giving her every chance to pull away, and took her hand. "So I'm here, without a script, without a plan, just me, asking if we can start over, for real this time." She looked down at our joined hands, then back up at my face. A single tear traced a path down her cheek. And then she smiled. It wasn't the bright performative smile from City Hall. It was the slow, genuine, weary, and beautiful smile from the story she had told. "I suppose every good partnership starts with a shared project," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "Even a fake one." She leaned forward, closing the distance between us. And this time, the kiss was real. It tasted not of cheap coffee and desperation, but of hope and possibility, and the thrilling, uncertain beginning of a story that was finally, authentically, our own.